Ladies and gentlemen, Capitol workers are quitting their jobs. They are saying they don't feel safe. And because of these airlight sentences, a few months of probation, a few months behind bars, they feel that because of the light sentences, what's to stop this thing from happening again? Especially if a person is watching this and say, well, if I kick off something up at the Capitol, the worst I'll get is a few months probation. What's to stop a person from doing it? Nothing. Nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, they said these workers once pride themselves in working up at the Capitol. Not anymore. The House staffer quit after awakening one night and imagining a pack of Proud Boys amazing outside his apartment door. Another left after questioning whether the strangers he encountered had helped plot the insurrection. The police officer resigned, is still agitated by the frantic voices of coworkers she recalled hearing on her radio scanner that day. So, what's the plan? I've got an officer down, another shouted. A year ago, they all worked at the US Capitol. Mm-mm-mm. And they believed in American democracy until that attack happened. Mm-mm-mm. But January 6, 2021 upended all of that. An evading mob of Donald Trump followers destroyed the sense of security not only on that day, but in the long year that followed. And that was violent. It's almost like the more videos you watch on it, the more you see how violent it was up there. Very violent. And remember, people lost their lives. There's a dark cloud over Capitol Hill, said Jody Brittaman, a Capitol police officer who submitted retirement papers in November after almost 21 years on the force and will officially leave the agency in mid January. I look at officers' faces and they've changed. They've lost weight and they don't know why. In the months since the insurrection, senators and representatives have chronicled the trauma of January 6th, recalling how they cowered behind seats in the House chamber and barricaded themselves in offices as these people were pounding on their doors, uh, shouting threats on what they were going to do to people. And yet, alongside the political leaders, there were hundreds of Capitol workers who suffered their own trauma that day. They are supporting casts of edges of Washington's biggest stage, the legislative aides, police officers, custodians, and cafeteria workers who keep the business of the government moving and ensure that the Capitol is safe, clean, and well functioning. In many cases, they they're leaving. They're leaving. They said they don't feel safe. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're saying that other Capitol workers, January 6th became a psychotic tipping point, a reason to leave jobs that had made them targets for threats and potential danger. The idea that you're in a place where your life is at risk was just on top of everything else. The clinching factor for me, Rich Lunchett, 35, a former senior advisor, he said it becomes overwhelming at some point. A sign of enduring trauma occurred a week or so after the insurrection when sounds of partying neighbors woke him up in his Navy Yard apartment. As he opened his eyes, his first thoughts were, are there proud boys out in the hallway? That's ridiculous. Nobody should have to live like that. In any given year, staff turnover at the Capitol is constant. Yeah, because they don't pay nothing. And I did a story on how low they pay Black employees, making it difficult to quantify the number of employees who quit or retire because of the insurrection. More than 100 U.S. Capitol police officers had departed as early as December, a figure that was a sharp increase over the previous year. Typically, the 290-acre Capitol complex, it spreads over multiple blocks with its own subway system and an array of cafeterias and a workforce approaching 30,000 people. January 6th was anything but typical. Yeah, because you even then you had the pandemic, that a lot of people were still very concerned about. And that kept many employees that were sick at home. Yet, no matter where they were, as the insurrection unfolded, Capitol employees could not help but feel violated as they saw rioters, insurrectionists, invade and vandalize their workplace. Yeah, and loot it too. Another former House staffer, a Democrat who quit months after January 6th, said the toll of that day grew as time passed. I got to the point where my mental health just took an absolute nosedive because I was still trying to process all of this stuff. Wow. And this person wants to remain anonymous because they fear retribution from Trump supporters. Death threats continue to arrive daily by phone from constituents who were convinced that the Democrats had stole the election. So they were calling up to the Capitol making death threats? Wow. These people are absolutely crazy. And some people said that broke them right there. Mm-mm-mm. The American people stop believing in the institution. And if they don't believe in it, what the hell are any of us doing working for it? Tyree Douglas, 34, knew long before January 6th that he wanted out of his labor job at the Capitol, where he felt underpaid and trapped after 10 years of picking up garbage and delivering cups and ice to members' offices and cleaning bathrooms if needed. Douglas, a cancer survivor, had taken a medical leave at the start of the pandemic, although he was not working on January 6th. He said the insurrection was another signal that he should not return. The dangers, the risk were not helpful, he said. I did not need that in my life. Mm-mm-mm. So he was not alone, some workers actually took leave. They just didn't want to be there. They didn't feel comfortable. And I think that says it all, ladies and gentlemen. This says it all. You know, and to add insult to injury, they are giving out these sentences like these folks had some minor violation. But I promise you, if the same thing occurred at a BLM rally or any protest out here, you can best believe people would have got years behind bars or ended up dead. But it's amazing how when the face of the insurrectionists looks like the people that run the system, look at how easy they go on everybody. Look at how easy. I mean, even some of these people that got a few years, it was just only a handful of them that got a couple of years. behind bars, even that's light. You know, just like that Shaman dude. He made death threats. And to give him what, 51 months? That's just laughable. But, you know, always bring up this date when they want to talk about looting and protecting business. Bring this up. Ask all these people that are concerned about looting and protecting businesses, where the hell were they on this day? Always put that back up in their face. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.